If I was starting this recovery journey again, what would I tell myself to give myself a motivational boost and to sort of, I won't say instantly calm myself because we know that's not possible with OCD, but to give myself a clearer mind. Again, not possible with OCD if we try and force a clearer mind, but just to give some insight there. Well, this is what I would say. I would start by saying, and bear in mind, these aren't things that you're saying to yourself. People often say that, like, what do I tell myself? How do I say this to myself? It's not about telling yourself things, right? It's like getting someone comes to you who's a 15-year-old guy and he says, I want to get confident speaking to girls, right? You can't like say, yeah, just tell yourself this over and over, and then it will all work out. He has to experience being rejected. He has to experience holding a conversation. He has to experience all of those elements to then develop the confidence. Difficult in today's modern world where everything's hidden behind a phone and is just texting and messaging. So many people are learning poor social skills, unfortunately. But back to the point, what I would do is I would say this journey ain't going to be a week. This journey ain't realistically going to be a month. This journey is going to be multiple months, multiple years. Whoa, I don't want to wait multiple years. Will you tell me something in life that doesn't require multiple years, that's usually very hard, right? Not many things. Anything that's worth really achieving takes time. People, when they look at people in businesses, sports, and they see an overnight success, you haven't seen the 20 years they were getting in the swimming pool at 8 years old to swim in the cold pool. And the mum was saying, and they were going, I don't want to swim. And the mum was like, come on, you need to do it to make the team, right? That wasn't glamorous. We know that those things weren't glamorous because even Michael Phelps said the worst he ever felt was the Olympic Games the day he won. Mental health problems, pressure, beliefs, all of that there. So with OCD recovery, you've got to pace yourself. You've got to say to yourself, I'm going to go along gradually. I'm going to see how I go. I'm going to let this journey teach me things, help me to understand things, help me to develop ideas and perspectives that are going to empower me for the rest of my life. That's the attitude you want to develop, right? Because if you approach it with, okay, I need to get this over and done with instantly right now, any more days wasted are days chipped off my life, you're going to be like relentlessly, compulsively, inwardly focused on getting rid of it, getting rid of it, getting rid of it, getting rid of it, getting rid of it. Okay, and that's not going to help you. That is not the way to approach this. The same as if you're 17, 18, you're watching lots of crypto videos and you think, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest very quickly and then I'm going to take something really high risk and then I'm going to become multimillionaire overnight. You don't meet many 17-year-old multimillionaires overnight, right? You don't meet many of them. But bro, you don't know. I've seen this guy on TikTok. Just go to an expensive restaurant. Walk outside it if you can't afford to go in it. And just see how many people are crypto bros at 17 years old. Barely any, okay? And that's the reality of life. The same as you don't see OCD forums full of people going, hey, I just told myself thoughts are thoughts. And a thought went in one ear and out the other ear. Now I've recovered. You never see it. Recovery stories that are inspirational are robust recovery journeys where people have developed a base of perspective shifts that empower and lift up their life. You don't see that in those places. I remember what it was like. I used to log in those forums. I used to click on the avatar of the person I was speaking to. And I used to think, this person looks a bit weird. Let's be real. That's what used to happen. I used to look in the forum. I used to think, that person looks a bit weird. And then I would look at the summary under their name and it would say something like, just put up with the terrible days, OCD's hell, and then like loads of hashtags for like crazy stuff. And I was like, this does not look like the environment that I want to be in. And oh dear, how has my mental health got to a place that I'm now in this position? Well, sadly, what you see is the worst, most extreme cases often in forums. You see that, right? You see those things, okay? I didn't even know there was a community of people in OCD that looked just like me, that were just people struggling with life, that just developed it, and I wasn't the craziest person on earth, and things like that. Because if you don't see that, you feel pretty scared, right? Because you think, oh my God, my brain's broken. I'm going to be locked up in a padded room forever, right? And if you go in some forums, it can feel like that, right? Where the picture might be extreme on the avatar. It might be somebody who looks very scary, very extreme look, and they are, and all their things are extremist stuff, right? That's not the reality. The same as if you were addicted to something, you would have people that had addictions that would blow away any therapist thinking, Jesus, I've never seen it as bad as that. And then you'd have the average level. Okay. So that's the reality of these things, the reality of the journey. So I would tell myself, hey, you're going through something that's quite a lot more common than you think, although it's still not as common as made out by the statistics of 1% of people have OCD. No, they don't, right? No, they don't. That's to give a sense of inclusion when it actually makes people feel isolated. If we try and use a sense of inclusion where we say 1% of the population has OCD, no worries, don't worry at all, you're not alone, that does the opposite because it's factually not true. There is no way 1 in 100 people have chronic severe OCD, right? No way. And thrown into that box, as much as a lot of the community likes to say, oh yeah, 1% of the community, 1% of people have OCD, and celebrities have OCD, and then but tidiness quirks aren't OCD. That all gets lumped in the same box. I'm sure when that was being done, that statistic, they literally said this. Do you like spend ages tying your shoes and putting your shoes in a row? And do you like your food on the plate like this and your cutlery like this? And do you like to clean your hands a bit more than usual in your house to be tidy like this? Yes, 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 that's me, that's me. Yeah, well, that ain't chronic severe OCD. And the fact that that got thrown in that box then makes people feel hugely isolated. So it's important in life to help people not feel alone when it's factually true, right? If we say things like chronic severe OCD is not the most common, but lots of people have it and recover from it, and they are people just like you, that's nicely factually inclusive. But not inclusive for the sake of being inclusive with a completely incorrect statistic, because that doesn't do anything, right? That's like saying to someone who's going into prison for a life sentence, saying, oh, don't worry, everyone goes to prison at some point for a life sentence. That's not true. That's a complete fake thing, right? And the person's going to feel more lost and more hopeless. That's not what's going to empower him. What's going to empower him is a story from a guy. Yeah, I just done a life sentence. To be honest, mate, when you start working out, you start reading, you maybe study an exam in there, and you get a couple of good mates in there, you make it through, and it ain't as bad as you think when you get into a structure of the day. That's going to be factual good news for him, good knowledge for him, okay? So we don't want to build stories on fluffy stuff. Why? Because OCD breaks through the clouds. It breaks through the clouds like a lightning bolt and smacks you with reality. So we want to smack back with reality to get to robust recovery. So I would tell myself that's the realistic situation. And now you've got this great journey to work on things and improve to get better. And that's what I did. And that's what you can do. And you're not alone. You're not the worst case in the whole. Okay, say you are one of the worst cases and you've been stuck for 50 years, 24/7. You can recover. Now, that's not wishy-washy chat. That's reality. You can recover. It's your perspectives and beliefs that are holding you back. Someone came in 84 the other day. 84. Imagine how long they've been stuck, right? People come into calls, they're 18. They say, oh my God, I've been stuck for so long. I say, you're 18. Think of how many years you've got ahead of you, right? All these things you've got to think about. The reality of it, the reality of the journey. You've been stuck for 50 years, chronic harm OCD for 50. You can still recover. What do you mean, Rob, you can still recover? How do you know? Well, it's only perspectives that are holding them stuck. So if they do the work over and over, not compulsively, but they do the work, persistence, practice, they can get better. It makes factual sense. But people don't know that. They lived in an era where they didn't know that. It's only been in recent years where recovery was so much more accessible. So those are the kind of things I'd tell myself to give myself a realistic positive boost into the future for OCD recovery.